traditionally, this Sunday is focused on the topic of hope and faith. And this morning, I thought to take the concept of hope and faith in the direction of gratitude, radical gratitude, gratitude that's grounded in the moment, grounded in a lived experience. I'd like to begin with a story. Back in the 1980s, I had the good fortune to travel with a metaphysical teacher named Arnold Patton. And he traveled all around the country giving weekend workshops and sharing his book about universal principles, basically the same principles we study here in the Celebration Circle, about oneness, connection, trusting the process. Anyway, we were traveling around dozens of cities and doing what we did. One weekend, we were in Detroit doing what we did, and the local organizer was a psychologist who arranged for us to go in and speak in prison, in the maximum security ward cell block. Very interesting. The most interesting group audience I'd ever been with. There were 25, 30 of these men, all very violent people who had been sentenced, long sentenced. They were murderers and rapists, most of them. Tough hombres. And they were the single most attentive and focused audience I've ever spoken to in my life. Some of it. And I got thinking about it, it's because these guys had done terrible things, got locked up, most of them for life or a long time. Had plenty of time to think about their choices and consequences and to kind of come to peace with where they were, and they were eager to make new choices on how to be where they were. They had a lot at stake. Anyway, I sang a couple songs. Arnold gave his spiel talk, and this other musician was with us. Tom Barabbas got up to play the piano. Now, Tom was maybe the most talented musician, certainly the wildest musician I ever met. He was a wild Hungarian dude who was just a master, classically trained pianist who could improvise like crazy, which is a good thing. But he sat down to play the piano and do his instrumental thing, and that piano was so out of tune. It was in the chapel at the prison in the maximum security ward. You can imagine it didn't play much. And you could feel the room kind of tighten up. The men were sort of embarrassed and restless, and I was like, what's Tom going to do? He's going to walk away. But no, Tom just did that again. He went, dun, 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 dun. And then he just sat for a long time. Felt like hours. It was probably just a minute. But he just sat, focused, meditated. And then he began playing. Just a few haunting notes, so wistful, so sad, so lonely, so blue, so and then a little faster, the melody got more intricate, and before you knew it, his fingers were dancing on that keyboard, and the music, it was roaring through the room, and everybody was going, how did he do that? That hell's out of tune. This is amazing. This song is lifting my spirits. Tom, we were all just on our feet. How did he do that? And I asked him at lunch later, Tom, how did you do that? That piano was horribly out of tune. He said, simple. I took a moment, took stock of which notes were in tune. There weren't many of them, but I memorized which ones they were. And I played them. And then as it progressed, I put in a few of the out-of-tune notes to add tension. And that's what you were hearing. I knew which notes worked and how to work them. I didn't exactly know how to work the notes that were out of tune. But I played them, and then I played them in pattern. I just built tension off of the out-of-tuneness. Can you feel that? Can you feel how powerful it could be, it can be, it is, as we live our lives from a place of what I call radical gratitude. Radical from the word radix, the Latin for grounded, for root, radishes, radical, grounded. As in connected to the earth, as in grounded in our bodily lived experience in this moment. Radical gratitude asks me to remember that in this moment, and only in this moment, I experience the presence of Spirit. That's the only place God lives. Whatever God is, I don't know much about it. I don't know who she is, where she is, how she is, but I know this. She dwells in the presence and creates in the presence and unfolds only now. And radical gratitude is grounded in that nowness. And as I engage in that present tense fully and feel that it's whatever I'm dealing with, whether I'm grateful for something really wonderful or trying to be grateful for a death in the family, because that's just what is. If I'm working from a place of radical gratitude in the present tense, I'm invited to remember that everything makes sense in the present tense. If I'm trying to struggle with the pain of what I'm dealing with, I'm doing it based on my past experience. Who am I to know if what I'm dealing with in this moment is wonderful or terrible? I want to judge it based on my past experience, saying, this is a wonderful apple pie. I haven't actually tasted it yet, but I've had some apple pies in the past, and they always tasted pretty darn good. She puts one in front of the table and me, oh, I'm grateful for this pie. I know how it's going to taste. Based on what? Based on my past experience. So too, something terrible happens. You get a difficult diagnosis from the doctor. A family friend dies. Check bounces, whatever. It's terrible. I have to approach this with, based on my present experience, I'm ready for this to be a terrible thing. How about if I open in the present tense to the awareness that A, I'm not in this all by myself, no matter what it feels like. Spirit, life, God, hidden angels are there to help me in the present moment if I allow them to. And as I focus into what is rather than what I wish it were, as I focus in with a sense of I'm in the right place, I'm in the right time, and this is for my highest good. This too is for my highest good. And I'm looking right at you, Casey, who fell and broke your shoulder. And I'm looking at you, Roger, who had esophageal cancer and had your stomach pulled up into your throat to make a new esophagus. I can't imagine what that was like. But somehow, somewhere in that, I know from talking to you that you have a renewed gratitude for life and for what's possible. And I know, Casey, as much as you've been stretched, I know that you've made incredible lemonade out of those lemons. And that your understanding of who you are in the world and how to be in relationship with Michael has definitely changed from working and commuting to California to work with a broken shoulder. And still coming with a positive attitude. Because somewhere inside you knew that this was for your highest good. And that's what radical gratitude asks me to do. It not only brings me into the present tense, but it makes sense of the past tense. All those things, or mistakes, those accidents, those horrible things that happened at that time you thought they were horrible, they brought you to where you're sitting in this moment. They're part and parcel of everything that brought you, me, to this moment. Radical gratitude makes sense of the past. The worst thing that ever happened to me, March of 2019, I stepped in the big old pile of doodle all by myself and had to face up to the truth of my addictions. I had to face up to the truth of my dark shadows that I kept repressed and hidden. And that just goes by the grace of God and with the support of my wonderful wife and many friends in the 12-step process. I came to face with how wonderful this terrible thing was, because at age 60, I was finally sober. And I was finally no longer hooked on needing the approval of others, blah, blah, blah. But I could not, life had been trying to teach me those lessons every other which way for 68 years, however long it's been. And it took me stepping into the darkness of my own darkness, fully and deeply, irrevocably hitting bottom, to say, oh, I rejoice in this. Can I be grateful for this too? And at the time, it was difficult. But looking back, it makes perfect sense that it was a wonderful thing to have happen for me that I co-created. In other words, by practicing gratitude in the present tense, my past makes sense, and my resistance to what is diminishes. And I can create a vision for a powerful future. As I remember that in all things give thanks, as Thessalonians asked us to do 2,000 years ago, and that's Peter's, as Paul's lessons, the letter to the Thessalonians said, in all things give thanks. And that invitation, that invocation is as true today as it was then. That as I can find a radical way to say thank you for what is, not just the fun stuff, but the other stuff too. I, you, we are invited to live into the fullness of our power. That's a little thought experiment. Eyes open or eyes closed. Think of something, someone that you're grateful for in life. First thought, best thought. 3 things might come to mind, but just be quiet. Okay? Who's willing to volunteer? Yes.
I'm grateful to be in the presence of friends again.
Grateful
again.
Yeah. That's good. It is wonderful to be in the presence of friends and back from behind the mask and out in public. Right? And if you just say, I'm glad to be here, yeah, it's good. And leave it at that, it's just a nice, bright thing. But if I take a moment, if we all take a moment to be like Tessa, and just feel how wonderful it is to have survived COVID, to be in a place and a time when it's okay to be back with each other. To feel that, not as a nice thing we heard from her, but as a lived experience in this moment, how good it is to gather with our tribe and feel our oneness. Hear the music. Be present. The difference between just hearing her perfectly good thing, oh yeah, it's nice, and actually feeling it, can you feel that difference? The same holds true for me when I'm thinking about challenges in my life. If I can go from saying, oh, there's something good in here, the goodness will unfold somehow. I just know it will. It's all for the highest good. Yeah, it's a nice bumper sticker, but it doesn't go anywhere. Whereas, if you can sink into the broken shoulder, the deep sadness, the death of the family, just sink into that awareness, separate from your judgments about it, and just feel the pure energy underneath it. The pure presence that's indwelling in this moment, permeating your shoulder, your toes, your grief, your joys, your apple pie. All of it calls us to be powerfully in just closing your eyes or leaving them open and sinking into this moment with a deep breath or two. Bring into mind a person or circumstance that you're thankful for in your life. It may be what you thought of a few moments earlier. It might be something else. Just pick something and now feel the emotions connected to that person, place, or circumstance. If, like me, you're thankful for your home and your loved one, can you feel the emotions involved with that sense of security and safety and belonging attached to home? That's my example. That's whatever you're thankful for in your life, can you feel the emotion attached to it? Now, underneath that emotion, I invite you to feel the pure feelings, the energy that lies beneath the emotions, and let it flow freely throughout your entire body, not just your head, but your heart, your hands and feet, your fingers and toes, tingling, resonating, vibrating with gratitude. And now you move beyond that and feel your connection to all of life, vibrating with this same sense of aliveness, of gratefulness. To feel yourself radiating with awareness of just being connected to all of creation. Stay with it. Your mind drifts off to something else, just bring it back to feeling resonant and grateful, alive, blessed. And take a deep breath or two. Just let go of that. And now with that same open heart and open mind, embrace a challenge in your life, a difficulty, something you normally would rather wish it just wasn't there at all. But just for now, in the safety and sacredness of this space we've created together this morning, whether you're present in this room or online, won't you feel the power of naming and facing that which is challenging, fearful, seemingly limiting, whatever. Just face it with an open heart and see if you can find gratitude in advance for the gifts it will bring. Gifts currently unknown, unidentified, maybe unthinkable, but still present. Knowing and trusting that every challenge you've ever had in your life brought good with it, brought a lesson with it. So to hold this, simply hold this challenge in your life from a place of gratitude. Like giving a gift that's wrapped and you don't know what's inside the box, inside the pretty paper, but it's something good. Right now it's mystery. Can you feel gratitude? And then feel the feeling underneath that, just the free flow of energy. Without judgment. Without needing to fix or change anything. Just being present with what is. From a place of gratitude that's radical, that's grounded in your body experience, in your of breath in your fingers and toes, your elbows and nose. And then finally that last step of feeling yourself connected to all of creation in this sheer vibration of life flowing through you, the challenges, the joys, everything in your life. Open and connected to all that is and all that is becoming. And now from this place, open your eyes and look around you, feel yourself just present with all of it. And imagine with me for just a moment what it might be like to live from this place. I personally have, ever since about 4 years ago, have adopted a practice of waking up into gratitude every morning before I move a muscle. And as soon as I wake up, I've just come into this habit of feeling gratitude for waking up, knowing how many of my friends haven't. And just feeling how, and I have the good fortune of waking up most mornings next to that mirror. Now that's good fortune. That's something to be grateful right there. I guarantee you 43 years later I have more gratitude than ever for just that gift. Feeling her presence. And then it might go to wiggling my toes. Oh, today my toes have feelings in them. Some days the neuropathy is bad and there's no feeling in the toes, but today I've got a feeling in my toes. Yay! Oh, and today my bladder's working. I've got to be bathroom. And then, stay with me. This might sound silly, but finding myself grateful to have a bedroom connected to a bathroom and to walk there in comfort and safety. There's no bombs out there. Nobody threatening me from downstairs. No dangerous person living in my family. That's a lot to be grateful for before I've even gotten to the bathroom. And then I do the same thing at night before going to sleep. I just take a minute to find 5 things that I'm grateful for. And I don't have to be big things. My pillow was good. Oh, I'm here again. What's that? It's fast asleep. Yay. I'm fast asleep in a minute. Yeah. Anyway, building a field of gratitude as a space from which I live my life has changed my life radically. And I'm passionate about spreading the gospel of radical gratitude as being a way to face and embrace that which our culture encourages us to avoid. You deserve a break today. Just eat something. Don't face your sadness. You deserve a break today. Buy something. Don't face your sadness. That's what the culture says. But the inner Christ, the indwelling God says, can you be grateful for this challenge? Can you be grateful for this situation? Can you be grateful for it all and come to me to life with an open heart and an open mind? In all things, give thanks. At least that's my hope, that's my challenge, that's my invitation, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.